right, so we're going to go over a couple things in the market today. So the first one is a swing trade alert that I had put out today. So this is not an easy market to find stuff to get into to the long side. But I will say there's a couple sectors that are really moving. So this first one is the swing trade that was alerted today on May 9th. So I'm going to buy this right here at 3:55 in the afternoon, waiting for that time to come, and then I'll show you that purchase. The reason why you don't see this ticker here on the channel right now is because this is part of my swing trade alerts. So it wouldn't be fair to those people paying for that service, but I want them to be able to understand why we're buying it. So I'm showing the chart. They all know what this is. And then as this swing trade gets further on down the road towards conclusion, I'll show everybody what the ticker was so you all can go back and look at it as well. So there's a bunch of things happening here with this swing trade alert. First of all, the algo is telling me to buy it. So looking at this going back in time, 2 years, we have quite a few winners. This was a winner back here. Then we have one, 2, 3, 4, one loser there, 4 winners, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1 loser. So 8 trades, 1 loser, pretty good going back 2 years, a little over 2 years. So that's one factor in the whole thing. And then let's see if we can shrink this a little bit. So see this trend line that's right here? You can see that nice trend line. Kind of getting close to it. May come back down and tap this trend line. Our stop is down here on the swing alert. You saw I put out 97.26. And our target is 118.36. So right here we have this nice trend line. It could come back and make some contact before going up, or it may just go up. We'll see. You know, a lot of times over here it comes back, doesn't make contact, and keeps traveling, but every now and then it does. But this trend line was pretty strong running through this little area. Then we have this support line right here as well. Our stop is down here below the support line. So the algo is actually telling me to put my stop just in this little area where the gap is. Zoom in a little bit so you can see that better, especially if you're looking at it on your phone. So right here is where the algo is saying to put that stop right there. But I am not going to put it there. I'm putting it down here. And the reason why is, you see this purple line that I drew here, this flat purple line? We're going to take a look at how powerful that area is. Okay, so let's scroll back through this area. So you can see there was you know, we had it gapped up to get above, pretty gapped, and ran above that area here, but came back in. And again, for me, support resistance is not an exact number, it's an area. So right in this area, came back down, tested that area, went back up, tested the area, went back up, right? So a lot of up and down testing this area right here. But as we travel back in time, we can also see it here, rejection, and then finally busted out, came back, retested, and went back up. So there's some definitely play there. Then we come back here again and we see this resistance area, resistance area, resistance area, right? Insane. Resistance area, finally got back above, started testing that area and just banging on it, and then finally broke down and came back up. So it really, there's something going on in this zone here that's really important to this ticker. So going back in. So I've gone and put the stop below that area of major support, major resistance here with this ticker. So my stop is there. My target is a little bit above, giving me basically a 1-to-1 roughly, almost a 1-to-1, 1 risk to 1 win target. Now the algo's original target is 116.90. So why am I going to 118.36? So the majority of the time, you know, we get out 90% of the way. We'll get out break even plus a couple bucks, like we did with PBF. So, and on this particular trade was break even plus a couple dollars. So not amazing for sure. But this trade here, you can see a pretty nice break above a target. So, and then over here, you know, if we get 90% of the way, in this case to this area, we'll move our stop to break even, which I'll alert out. Move my stop to break even. And then we'll be looking for a break above. And if it comes back in and gets us out, it gets us out for a few dollars like our PBF just did. So we're going to go look at that ticker in a minute here. So here we have it breaking through the algo. It's definitely breaking above. Right? So when it's a winning trade, touch, doesn't go back to our entry yet, and then breaks above. So same thing here. This one just tagged and then came back down, but, you know, hit the target. And then breaking above. So the probabilities are that it will break above. It'll break above this. So this gives me pretty much a 1-to-1, almost a 1-to-1 risk reward. When we get to 90%, we'll move the stop to break even, and I'll alert that out if I decide to do that or decide to do it early. And then as we break through here, we'll be looking for a little poke above, and then we'll see what's going on. And if need be, we'll go ahead and just stop out at 116.90. But 118.36 is where I'm looking at. Probability-wise, it's there's a very high likelihood we'll get that number on this one. So this is a swing trade that's out right now. So one of the things with the market right now is it's really difficult to find companies that are worth engaging in. So this company also is they're in the business of logistics and transportation services in North America, Europe, Asia, South America, a bunch of places. So, and in with that business, one of their businesses, or part of their business, is selling and marketing of fresh fruits, vegetables, and other perishable items. So, as we know right now, the supply chain's a mess. So there's mega backlogs right now with the supply chain, freighter ships sitting offshore, all kinds of stuff. This business is kind of in demand right now. The other thing is, there's a lot of people who believe there's a food shortage coming. The futures market would definitely allude to some of that as well. So, and when they're buying and selling food, they're in a market area right now that there's a lot of attention to. So right now they look like they're lined up in a good position in the markets to take advantage of the current situation to be profitable. So, and we're going to zoom all the way out here. So let's do it this way. Boom. So they were in an uptrend, a bit of an uptrend, and then they were kind of flat. Let's go ahead and show you another thing here real quick. Okay, so this is the chart over 3 years now. You can see, it's just, the algo does very well with this ticker. We've had one loser in 3 years with this ticker. So hopefully we won't have another loser for another, year or so. We'll be able to get 4 or 5 more trades out of this before there's a loser. And with the current market and this position of this ticker, I feel pretty good about it. It's on a very small uptrend, but it did have a pretty big downturn here, and the algo was still very accurate in predicting the long trades there. And then we had a really big long thing of consolidation, and we can kind of come in here and see where try to break out of that consolidation, went back into the channel towards the bottom of the channel, and towards the bottom of the channel. Then we're breaking out here, and then went back inside the channel. And now we're about to break out again from this consolidation channel. And I believe based on the current market conditions, there should be enough momentum for this to slowly work its way up to our target. Plus, Algo has been pretty accurate on this ticker. So there you go, traders. So now you can see why I have alerted this ticker out, even though it's not the most amazing uptrend, but you can see why I've alerted it out. So let's take a look at some of the other sectors right now. So food is a pretty big thing right now. So we're going to look at a couple different tickers with food to kind of talk about what sectors are we looking at, and where are we trying to find, where are we finding potentially successful trades. So let's go take a look at some. Okay, so right here we have HSY, which is a swing trade that we're in. Really nice uptrend. Hershey's, right? So this was a swing trade that we were in, and earnings was coming up, and I didn't want to hold through earnings. I bounced out a little early on it. I alerted that I was going to be getting out because earnings was approaching, and I didn't want to take a chance on it just getting sideways going into and through earnings, which it did, but it also did get this pop and it hit all targets. So any of you who held through waiting for the hit the targets, set it and forget it or whatever, congratulations, you got the full trade out of it. I ended up getting most of the full trade, but not quite because of that. But Hershey's, it's doing great. Right now, who knows where it'll go from here. Algo's saying, stay away from it for a while. But we'll see. We'll be waiting for it to re-engage for a long position, and then we may get back into Hershey's. Okay, so here we are with MO. This was another swing alert that we had out that I ended up bouncing just a little bit early on as well, because I said earnings was coming up. And again, I didn't want to be stuck through a sideways move through earnings. I didn't know it would finally hit the full target, though, right before earnings. So I popped out just a little bit early. And again, any of those who stayed, fantastic. I did alert that I was bouncing out of this a tad bit early because of earnings coming up. But they are a company who deals with another commodity, which is tobacco and cigarettes. So, the commodity market right now in the energy sector seems to be the sectors to be in, especially the commodity sector. So right now, the tech sector seems like it's not doing so hot. You know, the beginning of COVID, tech sector was the place to be. Everybody's going to be stuck at home. But now the commodity sector with shortages and all this stuff looks to be pretty hot. And even the energy sector, even though right now it's not doing so great, was looking pretty good. And I think the war, the uncertainty of the war has had a lot to do with that. And we'll see what happens going forward there. So let's go look at another one. Okay, so you can see Kellogg's, you know, they're just pretty much sideways for like years, right? Like, look at this right here. I mean, we're like, this thing is not going anywhere. And then in the last short time since March, Kellogg's has just been on a rocket ride straight up going to the moon. So, and I think that's just because of all the potential food shortage issues and people are going out and stocking up on food right now. So it seems to be, like I said, commodities seems to be the thing. And look at Kellogg's boosting. We didn't buy it. You know, it alerted down here. This alerted for a trade right here. Oops, that is not the right tool. All right, here with the Algo telling us, hey, should be paying attention to this, but we're in a bunch of other stuff. So I only have a maximum of 10% of my portfolio at one time. And I usually take between 1 and 2% per trade. And that's not on my buying power. That's on the actual capital in the portfolio. Or I'll take less than 2%, less than 1%, sometimes a fraction of that. But I never want to be more than 2% in any one trade, and never want to have more than 10% of my portfolio exposed to the market at any one time. So sometimes I'm limited to how many tickers I can hold based on my rules there. So there's Kellogg's. Let's go look at another one. So here we are with Campbell's Soup, right? Not looking so hot. Sideways to down. And then, you know, we have war. Getting ready to brew, starting to brew, coming out of the holidays, and then we have inflation kicking, and then we have war, and then the talks of food shortages. And talks of food shortages, boom, look at Kellogg's. I think everybody's going out and buying canned food right now, canned soup and stuff, I guess, I don't know. But just massive boom on Kellogg's right now. So, yeah, you know, and again, algorithm alerted for a trade right here for our entry and target, but we didn't take that one. So I'm looking mostly for tickers that are in nice uptrends, and Kellogg's was not in a nice uptrend, but you can see where there's definitely some magic taking place in the commodity food market. Okay, so here is PBF. This is the trade that we were just in, and it's had a 100% winner for a really long time. So you're looking at a 2-year chart right now. Okay, so here's a 3-year chart of PBF. So you know, we had a win streak somewhat sideways, and then moving into a couple of basically a break even plus a few dollars trade. It was a small winner, and then we had a red trade here, and then back onto the green streak for PBF. So we're in PBF coming into this area here. So I'm going to zoom into where we're at now. So I alerted out last week that I was moving my stop to break even plus a few dollars, somewhere right in here in one of these candles. So right here I got stopped out today. So for profit, not nearly, you know, not our target by any means, but just didn't like the way the trade action was starting to set up in this ticker right now. So I popped out. I'm probably going to just stay out of this until we have a new trade that sets up on it. It's the energy sector, and the energy sector is taking a downturn right now. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if it's just overbought or what the deal is, but I just didn't want to have nothing to do with it. So I went ahead and told everybody I was moving my stop to break even plus a few dollars, and end up stopping out today for a small profit. So that trade we're out of. But yeah, energy sector is a little bit of a downturn. Let's look at another thing. Like here's USO, for example. So, you know, it's had a really nice run up when the war was kicking. But now everything is starting to settle back down. I think the world economy is starting to realize, oh, this isn't going to be so bad from an oil shortage and stuff. Is potentially what's going on here. I mean, we're still in a nice little rise on energy, but you can see where oil is starting to flatten out here. So right now, the algo is alerting a potential trade. Let's go ahead and mark it up. It's alerting a potential trade, but you know, getting in at a discount with a stop somewhere down here. But I'm just not going to play with it right now. I'm not trusting this sector all that much. But if we draw our trend line somewhere in this area, you know, maybe it's coming back to meet this trend line area, and maybe we will get a nice rise out of it. I'm not sure. So I'm just not 100% confident in getting into this trade. So I'm going to stay away from it for now. But Again, what's going on with the energy sector, I'm not sure. This is light sweet crude oil futures is what we're looking at right here. So yeah, we're gonna. Sorry, I said UCO or USO or whatever, but this is a crude futures, light sweet crude futures. So yeah, we'll see what's up. Okay, take a quick look at silver. So silver, I'm gonna delete this. Silver's tempting right now. It really is tempting right now. So you can see right here, it's totally hitting pretty hard on a support level. But we also have all these gaps back here, and then we have more resistance and support levels to be found back in this area here. Algo is still showing a downturn. It's not showing this recovering yet. So, why is silver coming down right now in today's world, right? Silver, precious metals should be rallying. But if you think about it, silver is used in a lot of manufacturing, and right now manufacturing is down. There's a chip shortages and all kinds of stuff. Shortage this, shortage that. You pick it, there's a shortage. So if the manufacturing's down, those items might be costing more, but the materials used to make those items, there may be a backlog of that material because they're not producing the items. So you might look at certain items and see, maybe that's a good sector to be in that item, but maybe it's not a good sector to be in the materials supplying those items because of the backlog. So something to think about, and I think silver is being affected by that pretty heavily. So one of the reasons that makes me think that is, here's a look at Gld Gold. You can see this channel that it started forming in, right? This big channel kicking right here, and we talked about this a while back, and how it was in this channel. So it finally broke out of this channel. So this is something I would expect to see. Inflation's going up, all that stuff, precious metals, right? So it busted out of this channel with a huge rally. You didn't see that with silver. And I think that's because of the backlog in manufacturing. I think silver, there's a lot of silver being produced, and not a lot of people are using it right now. So that's just my opinion, of course. Everything I'm saying in here, traders, is all my opinion. It's all speculation. It's it's a different version of a casino, if you will. So just my opinion. Please don't base any trades off of anything that I'm saying in these videos. Do your own homework, do your own research. Only place trades if they're right for you. So here we are with gold. So coming back down, we'll see if it comes. We have a little bit of an M pattern right here, breaking down. So there's definitely a breakdown taking place in gold right now. Where is that breakdown going to come? Is it going to come all the way back to this channel, this trend line? Or is it going to revert and go to this trend line and continue downward? It's hard to say, but I'm not a buyer of gold right here, that's for sure. Silver is tempting, but I'm going to wait for my algo to tell me to get into silver, and then I'll probably put a long-term position in silver, waiting for the algo to give me the heads up. And gold right now, I'm just not going to mess with it. Okay, so just a couple more things. So the ES, which is basically the S&P 500 in the futures market, and as I always say, I like to look at it in the futures market because I feel like you get a lot more information, because there's all that overnight hour action that's going on that you won't see if I pull up the SPY. So right here we have the ES. So as I talked last week and said, this does not look good. Algo is still showing to the downside. We're right here on a support area. It's not looking great. Support really needs to hold, and new highs need to be made for me to even consider thinking about getting long in this market. And sure enough, it's not holding. It's breaking down as the algo is predicting. But I also said I wasn't going to go short on a swing trade basis. Now, I do trade the ES on my 30-minute candles using my red light, green light strategy with my algo. And those trades that don't alert, if you are an algo owner and you're in the futures market and you've requested that I let you know when I'm making trades, then for those of you who have done that, I do send you out messages letting you know that I'm looking at getting into trades that are setting up. But as a swing trade service, I don't alert what's going on with 30-minute candles, only daily candles. So here we are with the ES. So yes, I did make some money in this breakdown because of my 30-minute swing or day trade, basically, in the futures market. But on the swing trade side of things, where I'd be holding this for a much longer term and bigger move, I'm not really interested in the market right now. It's too wacky for me to be able to play it. I feel like it's better just to pull my cash out, which I did. I pulled a lot of money out of long-term investments, like way long-term, like 10-year long-term investments, and I'm just letting all that sit in cash right now, which I did way back in this area here on the somewhere, what's the date? Yeah, March. Right in this area, I pulled out a whole bunch of my cash from my long-term stuff, and I'm just waiting for a signal for me to get back in with that long-term stuff. And right now I don't feel like it's it. Market's got a long way to go, I think. I mean, right now we're coming down to support area in this area here. This is almost, it's like, going back over a year ago. So we could see this thing coming all the way back down, to these areas right here. So if because of inflation and the fuel prices, if you look at the 2008 crash, you look at a lot of market crashes, a lot of it revolved around energy. And when energy prices go way up, people can't afford to do other things. They can't afford to spend their money. Sometimes you can't even afford to go to work. You'll see people that'll leave their jobs because it costs them more to drive to work than they're making. So the times are about to get tough, and if food shortages actually start to happen and food prices keep going up the way they are, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for anything in the market. So that's why it's been really hard for me to find swing trades to send out. So right now I'm mostly focusing on the commodities sector and the energy sector, and then we'll see if anything else pops in there that we want to look at. But right now that's where it's at, I think. All right, traders, so this video is getting a little bit long. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. We'll try to make another video next week, probably around the same time. I'll be gone pretty much most of the week and not able to produce any content. So next week I'll try to put another video out, or if I do any swing trade, new swing trades that come up between now and then that I do put out, I'll try to find a way to make a video talking about it. I'm going to try to make that a more regular occurrence. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. And just a little reminder, traders, if you're going to get into a trade because you think it's the right trade, ask yourself why. Is it because you want it to go up, you want it to go down, you feel like it is, you think maybe what this and that, right? You heard it on the news, a friend of a friend told you, or is there a proven statistical probability of success that fits your trading plan and your personality, lifestyle, and goals? If you answered yes to all those questions, then that trade's worth exploring. If you didn't, you might want to go ahead and get the answers to those questions. A proven statistical probability of success. What is most likely going to happen? For me, trading is a game of numbers, and if I play the numbers, that's how I am able to go ahead and make profit. If I play the casino, straight up casino, without looking at the probabilities, it doesn't usually work out. So something to think about. All right, everybody, see you on the next video.